calling in all entrepreneurs, light workers, star seeds who are here ready to make impact, more money on this earth, and shift to the fifth dimension. Are you ready to ascend? Welcome to another fucking amazing Ascension Codes podcast with yours truly, Natalie fucking Patterson. Hey babes. Okay, today we're going to be talking about me going on spaceships, the time I walked grey aliens out of my house, the time I got taken over by an entity that was wild, fucking wild, holy shit. The first time I saw dragons, and the first time a spirit channeled through my body and I wrote a letter to someone. Okay, so stay tuned. It's going to be a big episode. We're going to get a bit woo-woo, fucking disclaimer. I'm going to get a bit fucking woo-woo today. Okay, so put your spiritual woo-woo fucking seatbelt on because today we're going to the moon again. Yes, yes, yes. You've heard it here first. Okay. I'm in a really weird, silly mood, so you're going to get me in the weirdest mood, yeah. Okay. The very first time I went on a spaceship, I was talking with the Galactic Federation for a few weeks, okay? And the Galactic Federation would chime in random parts of my day. And this one day I was watching something on TV and I had this like TV come up in my third eye. It's the only way I can describe it. And it was so clear, and the Galactic Federation was like in my brain. They were like, Natalie, 7 p.m. tonight, you need to meditate and connect with us. And I was like, that's pretty fucking weird. They're giving me a time and there's no such thing as time, space in different dimensions. So that was wild. However, who knows? I'm not going to question it. I was like, are you here for the highest good? And he said, yes. I said, great. Okay. So of course, 7 p.m. I sat down in my bedroom where I always used to meditate, and I had my pen and paper there. And I remember literally all I had to do was breathe up and down. Now, by the way, guys, I had no idea I was going to go on a spaceship this day. And I was literally sitting there in meditation, and I connected beautiful golden light all over me. I brought my guides in, and I set the intention to go into the universe. And there I was met with, I actually did another little process too, which I'm not going to tell you on the podcast because it's something that you'll have to pay for. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, buy my programs. Woo. And so I went up into the universe, and there was like a gate, like a portal gate, if you will. And it looks like this, if you can see it on the recording. I don't even know what this is called. And it's like almost like a window frame thing. And it's golden, like a golden arch, let's say. And there's this little Martian, and I said to him, what is your name? And he said his name is Michael. And I was like, Michael the Martian? That's ironic. And I had a little laugh. And I honestly was like, at this point, I was like, this is such a big cosmic joke. What even is real? What even is life? At this point, my whole entire life, I've been told that aliens aren't real and that's just for the movies and fucking blah, blah, blah. And then I realized that actually the Men in Black maybe had an idea of what they were doing, you know? So I'm now seeing myself like projected consciousness in the universe. There's Martian Michael. There's this door frame. And all I saw was this big spaceship come and enter. And I've never seen a spaceship like this before, right? And all I did was thought about being on the spaceship, and then bang, I was in the spaceship. And big silver tables and big silver chairs were all around it. Now, guys, I don't think I've ever shared this story publicly. And I was sitting on a chair, and I was looking out the window, and I could see all the stars and planets and all the things. And I was just sitting there thinking, this is fucking wild. Then all of a sudden, my face and my eyes started to go like this, and my whole body started to crunch over, and my eyes were fully flickering at the back of my head, like it happens when I channel light language or anything else. And I was literally in so much fucking pain. My physical body was like collapsing, and I was like trying, like I had like T-Rex little arms, and I was literally like welted over, and I was in so much fucking pain. And then the Galactic Federation pop up, and I was like, you have to help my physical body. And they just went zoom. And I literally was like, oh, okay. I was still crinkled over, and my eyes were still flickering, and I was still crunching. However, I was able to hold the pain, if that makes sense. It wasn't as painful as it was previously. And then the Galactic Federation told me a whole heap of things that are going on in COVID, and literally talking about the influence that, you know, these people in power, these leaders have over the population, and how so many people are in the 3D literally so asleep, and that it is my job and it is my mission to ascend these people and help these people. And I remember sitting there thinking, why me? Like, I can't believe I was chosen. And then it was in that moment that I was like, no, I am the chosen one. I'm really here to lead starseeds and light workers. And I felt so grateful and so blessed that it was me. And I was like, yes, I have this big mission on earth. I'm going to complete it. I'm going to do it. You know, it was just so fucking powerful. And they gave me a whole heap of other tools that I can use, and really said to me, like, you actually really need to start getting light language out there. Like, light language has to, it will raise the Earth's consciousness. It will help humanity. And I was like, holy shit, I'm going to be a leader. And way back then when I went on a spaceship, I had no idea that I would be here now running a podcast called the Ascension Codes. Oh my God, how wild. And so for me, it was like every single time I would just need to pick up the breadcrumbs of what my spirit guides were telling me to do to lead me to where I am now, which is so fucking cool. So thank you, spirit guides. I love you, Illy. And I want you guys to start doing this. Start speaking to your spirit guides all the time, when you're in the car, when you're washing the dishes, when you're in the shower. Like, always talk to your spirit guides. Hey, spirit guides, I'm just in the car now. I'm about to drive to my podcast studio. Hey, spirit guides, I'm about to go and get lunch with my girlfriend. Oh, I love you guys. And just expressing your love and your gratitude to them all the time really helps them know that you're there and that you want guidance. And also another thing that I love to do is speak a lot about gratitude to your spirit guides, loving them, loving the shit out of them, guys. Love the shit out of them. They're there for you, to help you, to guide you. And so let's go back to the spaceship. The Galactic Federation, I had no idea this could even happen. So there was a whole, I would probably say like maybe 10 or so councils sitting at this table with me. And trying to wrap my head around this took me a wee while. And so I'm going to speak this, and if it doesn't land, that's okay. If it does, I hope it does. Well, yeah, I hope it does. So one of the Galactic Federation leaders was talking to me, and as he was talking to me, he was also tuning into different dimensions, talking to other people at the same time. I couldn't see them, but that's what he was explaining to me. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, my mind was just like mush. I was like, how can this be? And then I realized that in our dimension, we can only see our dimension. And the higher the dimension goes, the more expanded consciousness you have. So therefore, you're probably more likely to be able to have different conversations with different people in different dimensions all at the one time, coexisting. And that was like, fuck, this is so mind-blowing, right? And then what he also showed me was he almost like pulled in this, like he just went zoom, and he pulled in almost what appeared to be like a glass screen, and he showed me all of these different TV screens, and all of them were different memories of my life. And this is when he said, you know, when you die, you get shown all of these different movies. And this is really when you die, when you come back up to here, you get to see your experiences all happening, and all the lessons, all the soul contracts, all the karmic contracts that all played out, that had to play out for you to get here. And so I, in that moment, was like, wow, life is so precious. Life is so amazing. I've had so many memories and so many lessons to lead me to here. And I'm so incredibly grateful for this. And it was this moment of wholeness and this moment of gratitude that I had never experienced. Like, just the impact that had made on me. I was like, wow, this is so incredible. And now also too, when I came down from the spaceship, I had to literally get my physical body up, and my eye sockets were in so much fucking pain for days. Because of how much my eyes were flickering up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, to literally hold myself at the consciousness of being on a spaceship. And this is also when my guides were like, you need to go raw vegan. To hold the frequency of your body, you need to go raw vegan. So for those of you who don't know, raw vegan is is literally just fruits, veggies, and nuts, nothing cooked. So all the nutrients is there. It's literally live within you, which will raise your vibration. And so I ended up going raw vegan for a month. It was fucking hard work, guys. I researched it. I spent a lot of money on organic produce. Like, it was fucking hard work. I was drinking massive smoothies all day, every day, massive juices. I was eating big salads. I got fucking sick of salads. Let's get real. However, it did give me the heightened vibration of being able to go on spaceships and last for a longer period of time. Now, what ended up happening was after like maybe my 10th spaceship encounter, I was actually saying to my partner at the time, I was like, seriously, I feel like I'm going to go blind. So the frequency of me coming back down to earth, my eyes were blurry for like an hour afterwards, and to the point where it was starting to freak me out. And it actually did freak me. I was like freaked out. I was like, what if I lose my eyesight over this? And I said to my guys at the Galactic Federation, the Syrian beings that I was working with at the time, I said to them, like, what happens? And they said, oh, you're not going to go blind. And I was like, yeah, but my eyesight is super blurry for an hour afterwards. Like, that's not fucking normal. And they're like, yeah, your body just has to adjust to the frequency that your consciousness just went to. And for me to wrap my head around that took me a wee while. And so I took some space from going on a spaceship and allowed myself just to ground back down, because I was so in the I was always in the ether. I was always up, kind of almost disassociating from my body, because I was always going into different dimensions and always astro traveling and always literally in my dreams. I was starting to wake up all the time in my dreams, looking at my hands and knowing that I was literally in my dream. And almost like the warping of timeline started to shift, and I was like, kind of, where am I? And then it just landed. I actually have to start teaching this. So that's when I came into being a spiritual teacher. So last year I was a trauma release and spiritual coach for most of the year until I shifted into business, because of the amount of success that I had in my business and the amount of people that I was reaching and the amount of beautiful humans that I was serving. And everyone was like, how are you making so much money? Can you teach me? And I was like, sure, babes. So that's what actually shifted my timeline into going into business coaching. So in that, I had the spaciousness and the experiences to then teach other people how to have huge spiritual awakenings. And, 5 years ago when I started having this massive spiritual awakening, I remember in that moment, I was like, one day I'm going to teach this, because I want to show other people that the spiritual awakening is sometimes really fucking scary. And if you don't have other people to communicate this and talk to about this, you feel fucking crazy. And, I was so grateful for my ex-boyfriend at that time. He was so able to hold me in me not thinking I was crazy. I had a couple of friends that I could talk to about this, but not really. I actually ended up expressing it to my parents, because I was like, they need to know what's really going on. And my family, bless them, was so open about hearing about it. When I first started speaking light language, I literally FaceTime mum and dad, and I was like, look at what's happening to me. When I first started going on spaceships, I was like, hey, this is what's happening to me. And I also expressed feeling like I was going to go blind, because I was like, if I end up losing my eyesight, like, I need to tell them, like, hey, it was because of a spaceship. Now you imagine me going into the 3-dimensional reality and saying, hey guys, I've lost my eyesight because I've been going on a spaceship. They'd be like, okay, let me lock you up into the closest loony bin. And it was at that moment that I was like, fuck, the 3D and the 5D are just completely different. People that are sucked into the matrix are so stagnant, and the people that are in the 5th dimension are so open to hearing these experiences and helping other people. And so it was then that I also started researching a lot about the 5th dimension, and really my guide started showing me a lot about this. I want to tell you guys another story. One day I woke up, and this is like in the midst of me going on spaceships and seeing beings and seeing dragons and seeing spirits and all of the things. And this is a fucking wild story, actually. I'm going to share this for a while, so buckle on in, babes. This one day I woke up and my spirit guide said to me, you need to go to a forest today. And I was like, well, the fuck for? And they were like, get in the car. And I was like, okay, I'm totally going to trust this experience. So I get in the car and they're like, turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left. And I literally, they lead me to Lamington National Park. If you haven't been there and you're from the Gold Coast, go there. It's magical. And I'm like, all right. So I set the intention just to be fully led and fully surrendered today. So they walked me up to this tree, and it was almost, this tree had like a hollow, like almost two trees went into the one, and there was this big hollow. And my guides were like, get underneath the tree, like get into the hollow. Now, guys, I'm fucking scared of spiders. When I say scared of spiders, I mean like shit my pants, shake, cry. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this right? And my spirit guides literally said, Nat, I want you to get under the tree. So I'm like, fuck you guys, let's compromise. I'm going to be really close to the tree. I'll take my shoes off. I'll sit by the tree, and I put my hands on my third eye to the tree, and I started breathing in the energy of the tree. This is literally when I started to access more light language, more codes, and even as I'm saying this, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see that even me talking about this is starting to channel light language through my body. And when I was at this tree, I started getting more activations than I'd ever had before. And then they started telling me, like, your mission here on Earth is really big. You're here to ascend the Earth frequency to the fifth dimension. You're literally here to lead all the star seeds and all the light workers. Like, your mission is so big. Nat, you're so powerful. And I started getting all these upgrades to being able to step into the courage of being able to lead humanity. And I was like, wow, this is so fucking powerful. This is so fucking potent. And I was literally just like at the tree, like, like getting fully activated, right? The people walking past me would have been like, what the fuck is this chick up to? And, oh my God, I want to tell you about this beautiful little turkey. So this turkey came and sat next to me the whole activation. And I was like, oh my God, my spirit animal is a fucking bush turkey. Like, what the actual fuck, right? And this bush turkey, I'm like, mate, you know what's going on, don't you? The fifth dimension, the bush turkey's like, ah! And I was like, yeah, me and bush turkey, we're besties at this point, right? And I'm there, I'm getting all these upgrades, I'm getting all these activations, and then they also start telling me more about what's really going on in humanity. And at this stage, like, we were in hardcore, like Melbourne and Sydney were in lockdown, and there was all of this darkness going on. And they started showing me about there's like dark and light wars literally going on in the universe right now, and that the Starseed collectives that I'm working with are really truly doing all they can up there to protect Earth. The Draconians and the Reptilians, they're there, and they're not nice forces, and they are literally connected to the people that are ruling the Earth, that are programming the Matrix. And I was just like, fuck, this is like a movie that I'm living in, and I'm the superhero of the movie, right? And I'm just meant to go through dun 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 dun. Nat comes to save the day. Light language. You know, like I'm just like light language on all these people, starting to activate everyone. Like, wake up, get your powers, boom. You wake up, get your powers, boom. I'm like, come on, fucking starseeds, wake up. And I'm like trying to tell my fucking parents, like, don't get the vaccine. Come on, people, don't get the fucking vaccine. Like, you know, guys, let's go. Let's keep our humanity. Let's keep humanity pure. Anyway, guys, it's a topic for another point. I love you all, no matter what you chose to do in the instant. It's all perfect. Whatever you chose to do is perfect for your evolution. And also, what I was getting shown at this point was very different information. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so I'm at the tree. I'm getting these downloads, and then there's like this pillar of light. You know, when you go in bushwalking, sometimes beautiful light shines through. So there's this gorgeous like ray of sunlight. And I was like, I'm going to go and stand under there. Also, it was pretty fucking cold, by the way. So I walk over, I stand underneath the sunlight, I take some big deep breaths in and out. And then this beautiful being, Moana, starts to come to me. And she says to me, Natalie, I'm your higher self. And I was like, holy shit, your higher self can be a being? What the fuck? You know, here I am doing a lot of different researching into different things, and I'd never known that your higher self can actually be a being. So Moana comes to me, and she's this beautiful Māori woman. And for those of you who don't know, I'm actually from New Zealand, and I am from a tribe called Ngātahu. What's up? I am actually Māori. I know I'm the whitest Māori you've ever seen. Yes, I know. I can't get a tan. I know, guys. And so Moana walks over to me and she says, like, babe, we've got a massive soul mission. Like, we're here to support you whenever you need me. Like, I'm here to also be of service to you, and I'm also here to be like a healing guide. which was actually just the most beautiful thing. I'm just like crying in the sunlight, like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. This is amazing. This is my life. Then I'm thinking, how the fuck can I tell people this? Like, people are going to think I'm actually batshit crazy. So, babes, it's taken me like 2 years to actually have the confidence and the balls to fucking tell you this. So I'm feeling really proud of myself right now. Pat myself on the back. Yes, Natalie, you're doing a good job. Yes, well done. Okay, so this brings me into my next point. So it was an amazing experience. About 2 months later, I am going to a breathwork breathwork meditation thing on the beach, and I'm running. I'm running to get there because I'm late and I hate being late. And I literally tripped on my pants and I stacked it. I stacked it so fucking hard that I thought my kneecap was like cracked or my knee was fucking broken or something. I was like, oh my God, I can't get up. And in that moment, you know, I was running. It was really, really, really busy down in Burleigh. I don't know if anyone knows Burleigh. It's pretty busy. I literally stack it. No one offers to pick me up. And I'm just like standing there like, right? And then I'm like, oh, my vibration's obviously so low. And I really also noticed that my victim wanted other people to come and help me. And in that moment, I was the only person that could save me was me. So I kind of like hobbled over to the sand, and I was, you know, when pain's so painful that you get like hot sweats. I was like fucking in hot sweats, like, oh my God, like trying to catch my breath. And anyway, my knee was in so much pain. And then I started having, for some reason, I had all these little ants come and bite me. I was like, what the fuck? I'm literally sitting there in pain. All these little bites anting me. Wow. All these little ants are biting me. So I'm sitting there. I look up the spiritual definition of what the fuck it means. And it means that I'm not speaking my truth. And in that moment, I knew exactly who it was about. It was about a friend. Her and I were just going on through a bit of a rocky phase. By the way, guys, I went through a lot of rocky phases with my friends that were fully plugged into the 3D when I was going in my transition to shifting into the 5th dimension. A lot of friendships had to fall away. And it was like my ego wanting to attach to being friends with these people that were no longer serving me. And I was in this like conflictedness all the time. Like, I wanted to be friends with them. And then I was like, they don't get me anymore. I want to speak about spirit guides and veganism and all these spiritual fucking woo-woo things. And they are like, what the fuck, Nat? You've changed. I don't like who you've changed into. And it was like this like to and fro all the time for about a 6 to 12 month period of me actually fully shifting into this new version of myself, right? And in this moment, my phone also cracked. And I was like, fuck, it's a bit cracked, but it'll be okay. Anyway, I hobble along to go and do this breath work. I'm like crying, releasing. Then by the time the breath work finishes, I like try and turn my phone on, and my phone's fully blacked out, like fully broken. And I'm like, fuck, I can't drive myself home. I didn't have the balls to ask anyone to drive me home or to get me an Uber or anything. And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I literally just sat on the ground and I just cried. I just cried. And I was like, I feel so helpless in this moment. I've literally just moved to the Gold Coast. I don't know anyone. I don't know any of these people at the breathwork. They've all just left. And I'm literally just sitting there on the ground crying. My fucking phone's broken. My knee's sore. Ants have fucking bitten me. I'm itchy. And then I remembered Moana. And I just sat there and I was like, Moana, I call you in. Please come and heal my knee. Like, please come and heal my knee. All I need is for you to heal my knee well enough for me to walk back to my car, for me to drive myself home. Please, Moana, come in. And she came in and came down and healed my knee to the point of, like, she just channeled light language. And I was just sitting there having her channel light language on my knee while I was literally just like, oh, I can picture it so well. Sitting there, fuck. Oh, poor Natalie. And so in this moment, I was able to get myself up and drive myself home. And then I was like, wow, I cannot deny the spiritual experiences that I'm having. And if I choose to disregard them right now, then I'm literally disregarding who I am and who I'm meant to be on this earth. And I really want to bring this home for you boys and girls. If any of you guys are experiencing huge spiritual experiences that you're like, I literally am going crazy. Like, this is so fucking weird and wild. Like, embrace it. Embrace all of you, because the woo-woo, the spiritual, the weird experiences that are happening to you because you're special, because you're the chosen one, because you're a starseed. And when we start to blend the 3D and the 5D together, we start to have more of these experiences, and we start to be able to speak and ask for help on the other side. When we have help from the other side, life gets to be easier, guys. And that's what I'm all about. If life can be easier, why not live this amazing, free, fucking awesome, yummy life? Okay. So my next story that I really want to go into is the dragons. Oh my God. Dragons. Okay, this is also a really ironic, synchronistic story. So I wake up one day, I was going for a walk around a lake that I lived right near, and I remember looking to the left of me and looking to the right of me and seeing all my ancestors walk alongside me, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is so cool. Mind you, I'm like walking alone, and people would have been like, this bitch has so much confidence, you know? But I'm like, I've got my ancestors either side of me, and I'm like, whoa! I've just started seeing spirits. I'm like, yes! For 5 years, all I wanted to do was see spirits and see all these beautiful, magnificent beings, and now I'm finally here. I'm like, yeah! I'm like, yeah, like to my fucking ancestors, I'm like, yeah, fucking, I'm so cool, you know? And then I look up above me, and there's these dragons literally circling my head, and I'm like, no fucking way! And I have tears rolling down my face. I'm like, oh my God, I'm home. And it was just like that soul recognition of like, wow, I'm not crazy. This is fully real, and this is true, right? So then I start to walk home, and I'm like, come with me. And I lived on a 2-story house at that time, and I had a balcony. And I went out, and I was just like standing on the balcony like, wow, I can't believe this is my life. This is so beautiful. And this big dragon comes on in, and he literally just like nuzzles in with me like a cat. And I was like, wow, life is so fucking amazing that I get to experience this. And then I was Uber Eats driving at the time, right? And I get in the car, and I'm like, fuck, this is amazing. I type in spiritual podcasts, and I close my eyes. I always do this. I close my eyes, and I set the intention for whatever podcast I'm meant to listen to, for it to listen to. And I just scroll up and scroll down, and then I just click it. And of course I clicked, I kid you not, this podcast that was like dragons. I was like, oh my God. I was like, universe, I can't make this up. Of course. So I click on it, and I start listening to it. And in the podcast, she starts talking about the fact that there are, you know, so many dragon beings that are here on Earth to help Earth ascend. And there's so much medicine in these dragons, and that they're really beautifully here to help us. And I'm just like crying, like, this is amazing. Oh my God, I've got pet dragons. I've got fucking pet dragons. I call my mum, I've got fucking pet dragons. She's like, oh, Natalie. I'm like, Mum, this is serious. I've got fucking pet dragons. There's 2 of them. And one was purple, or one is purple, and one is red. And I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Now, if you're starting to see dragons, I also know that dragons are also a sign of light language coming in, and it's so fucking potent and so fucking powerful. So if you're starting to see dragons, welcome to your next evolution. It's so beautiful. If you're wanting to see dragons, I want you to set the intention to sit in meditation and really connect to them. Setting the intention to connect them. There is also dragon light language, which I will do in an episode coming forth. And really what you want to do is just call that energy in. You are powerful. Again, you're the creator of your own reality. If you desire to see dragons, all you have to do is set the intention for them to call in and come into you, and then believe it to be true. This is the thing with all the spiritual stuff, right? If you don't actually believe in them, then of course you're not going to see them. If you don't believe in the things, it's not going to come into your awareness. So babes, start believing in all of the wild, wonderful things, and really expand your consciousness in what is really there, okay? It'll be really useful for you. Okay, we're going to go into something that is a little bit maybe scary, and I also just want to leave this here because it is also very truthful, okay? I used to drink alcohol. I never drink alcohol anymore. And I remember one of my spiritual teachers said to me that alcohol can actually lower your vibration. And of course, when you're drinking spirits, more spirits will be around you, right? And not necessarily good spirits. So I didn't protect myself, and I was literally just drinking with my partner at the time. And I said to him, oh yeah, we're going to have a few drinks, and then we'll make some sushi together, and we'll have a lovely night, right? And then next thing you know, I wake up in the morning, And I had, it's maybe a bit embarrassing to say, but this is the truth. I had one G-string on, one G-string upside down, back to front, my hair tied up and no bra on. And by the way, guys, I always sleep in a sports bra. And I'm like, what the fuck? Also, guys, I always have a very clean room and there was mess and shit everywhere. Like my whole room had been turned upside down. And I went to snuggle into him and I said to him, what the I went to snuggle into him and he kind of pulled away and I was like, what's going on? And then I could feel like this really icky energy inside my body. And I said to him, what's going on? Why do I feel so weird? And he said, Nat, something fucking weird happened last night. I think you were taken over. And I was like, what the fuck? No way. Me taken over? There's no way. And I've always heard, you know, comes light, comes dark. Sometimes too, you need to learn how to protect yourself and you need to know as well that there are other beings out there in different dimensions that are not always here for your highest good. So I'm going to put this in here right now. If you are starting to channel, if you are starting to really open yourself up to the spiritual experiences, I want you to write these in your notes right now. I want you to start saying, if you're not here for my highest good, you need to leave. That will make sure that the being or the person or the being or the spiritual thing that is there will go if they're not here for your highest good. It is a law of the universe that they will go, I promise you. So in this moment, I was obviously a few drinks in. I had no idea. And my ex-boyfriend had said to me at the time that I was literally like trying to vomit up this thing within me. And then I just said to him, stop. Come down right now. So we literally grabbed the sage, went outside, he saged me, and I literally had to like vomit out this entity and I sent it to the light for love and for healing. And then that was the moment that I was like, dun-dun, I'm never drinking alcohol ever again. Like I'm done, right? And then when we went back upstairs, I said to him, can you explain to me what really happened? And he had videos on his phone. He was videoing me in the end because he was like, I've never seen you be like this. And it was so out of character and it was so whack. I was apparently on my hands and knees eating, gnawing at the shoe rack. What the fuck? And I was like, oh my God, in this moment, this is like just so out of character. Like, why the fuck would I do that? And he was like, you were just throwing things everywhere. Then I would look him in the eyes and then I would fall backwards. And then I'd look him in the eyes again. He was like, you were fully possessed. And I was like, holy shit. I actually also broke the toilet seat. Like I grabbed the toilet seat and like ripped it out. Now, babe, I mean, I know I'm strong, but I didn't know I was that strong. And he was like, it was just the weirdest experience. He was actually so freaked out that he was like, Nat, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to break up with me over my spiritual experiences. Oh my God. Like I was having full fear that my boyfriend at the time, who I was so in love with, was going to break up with me over these fucking experiences. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And so it really came apparent to us that we need to A, protect ourselves all the time, and B, so guys, if you're listening to this, protection is so incredibly powerful, and you can do this so simply, right? Close your eyes, take a big deep breath in, think about a golden pyramid being around you right now. That is gold. That is protection. You can think about a beautiful golden egg. You can think about potent purple light, the violet flame light around you. Whatever kind of protection that you use, you know, you protect yourself morning and night. This will also help you, especially if you are new to channeling or if you are new to spiritual experiences. This will really, truly help you. So it was in that moment that we were both like, fuck. We need to A, learn to protect ourselves, and B, we need to make sure that we are not doing these sort of things. Like for me, I was out of control, right? When I was out of control, it allows other spirits to enter your space. So I was just like, right, I'm never going to drink alcohol again. Now, some of my best friends who are incredible channelers and incredible psychics still drink alcohol. So it doesn't mean that isn't for everyone. However, that was like a beautiful lesson in itself for me that I was like, okay, also I'm done with this right now. And so I want to inspire you guys, if you are doing spiritual experiences, if you are playing around, please start to protect yourself. It is really, really powerful. Okay. So are you ready for my next spiritual story? Okay. This is the one where I channeled a spirit through my body from pen to paper, and I literally wrote a whole entire letter to this lady's family. So I knew this lady through a course. I didn't know her that well. We were in a coaching container and I said to everyone, hey, I'm going to do psychic readings. And I was like, I'm doing $20 psychic readings. Who wants a reading? And she was like, I do. And I was like, great. So it's actually easier for me in a psychic reading to do people that I don't know. When I do psychic readings of people that I know, it's sometimes like, I'm like, did I know that information or was it actually correct information? Sometimes it's super easy to go for people that I don't know anything about, right? And so anyway, I had said to her, I can feel this like male energy in the room, and it was really strong, and I started to cry, and I was like, wow, this is like really, really, really powerful. And then I was like really, really sad, and I said to her, has your brother just passed away? And she started to cry. She's like, yes. And I was like, it's very recent. And she's like, yes. And I was like, you haven't even got the autopsy back yet, have you? She's like, nah. And I was like, fuck, man, like this is really real. And I, for a moment, was just like, holy shit, like this is very intense. So the spirit had said to me, Nat, I want to channel a letter through. So in that moment, I could see lights flickering on and off. And I said to her, I can see the lights flickering on and off. It was almost like he didn't want someone to find him. I'm getting that right now. And she's like, yeah, he took his little kids to the farmhouse and he died on the couch, and he didn't want the little kids to find him. And, you know, it'd gotten really late, and the mum ended up FaceTiming the kids being like, where are you guys? And they were like, well, go find Dad. And they were trying to find Dad. So they were on the FaceTime to their mum, and they were flickering the lights on. They were trying to flick the lights on. So the mum obviously saw it on FaceTime. And then, of course, they saw the dad laying down. And in this moment, I was like, oh my God, this poor man didn't want, like, his heart gave out on him. He didn't actually want to die, and he didn't want his kids to see him like that. So I had to, in that moment, give that information to this beautiful lady in front of me. And then he was on that, like literally, he was so close to me. He was like, nah, I want to write a letter. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know I could do that at this point, right? So sure enough, I went and got a pen and paper, and I started writing out a whole entire letter to his family. Now, I only knew her. I didn't know anything about her family. In that moment, I knew her, the relationship between the spirit and the dad, the mum, the brother, the wife, the kids. Like, I wrote a whole letter from him to this beautiful family. And it was in that moment that I realized how powerful these tools are, because I literally just helped their family, you know, put two and two together. And yeah, it was a really beautiful moment for me to know my tools, and also for me to be able to help these beautiful people. And then the other thing that I learned was that I'm really meant to service humanity, and that I can't play small anymore. I need to help other people. So if you feel inspired by these stories and you also have these gifts, I want you to literally start doing psychic readings. Start speaking more light language. Start normalizing these experiences. The more we normalize them, the more everyone can start to explore this, and the more we get to help one another. The more we get to service humanity, the more we get to help one another grow, right? Don't be ashamed of your gifts. Don't be ashamed of this woo-woo-ness. The more you speak about it, the more we can create the ripple effect of this all being spoken about and normalized. And all of my now girlfriends speak about this. Like, my girlfriend was actually staying over last night, and she woke up and she's like, oh my God, my guides just said this to me. My guides just said that to me. My guides just said that to me. And I'm like, fuck, I love my life. That all of my friends all speak about their guides, all speak about their businesses, that they're helping humanity. And it's like, we all get to experience love and unity and helping one another. And this is the magic, babes. This is what we're here to do, is live magical lives on this earth. Woo! So what I have learned throughout my whole, 6 years of my ascension process is, the more you dive deeper into spirituality, the more beautiful things will open up for you. The more doors will start to open up for you. And what I would love to inspire you all to do is continue meditating, continue speaking to your guides, continue asking for help from the other side. They are there to help you on your journey. Believe in the dragons, believe in the spaceships, believe in all of these incredible things, because they are truly here to help you. I love you. If you want to learn more about working with me, go to @Natalie Patterson Coaching. TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Or if you want to connect to this podcast, see all my incredible reels, go to @the Ascension Codes _ and you can find that, of course, on all of the platforms. To support this podcast, go to Spotify and Apple Podcasts to leave a 5-star review to help us spread the magic of this woo-woo-ness to the world, and let's help everyone ascend. Love you, babes. Have the best fucking day. I have channeled through 2 incredibly powerful and potent group coaching programs. One is for the entrepreneurs who want to get to consistent 10K months, learn everything that I have in the systems and the back end of my business, how I've helped other entrepreneurs scale to 10 and 20 and 30K months, how I've been able to cultivate so much certainty in my business by my spiritual tools, my spiritual gifts, and also the strategies and the structure to actually making your goals a real reality. So that is business container 1. Taking you quantum, baby. It's called reclamation of the soul's purpose. The second business container is called Cash Codes and Clients. This is for all the entrepreneurs who are already at, that 20, 30, 40K months, and they are wanting to scale beyond multi 6 figures and 7 figures. This is strategy, structure, spiritual fucking woo-woo codes, 5th dimension. There is 3 live events and 9 months of full support of me channeling in your business. If you would like to learn more, the links are down below. Both options have payment plans, finance available, and also pays in fulls, of course. Babes, if you want to work with me, if you feel the call to work with me and learn more about my magic, please DM me now at Natalie Patterson Coaching or the Ascension Codes _.